So if I woke up tomorrow and somehow my Etsy shop had disappeared, no sales, no reviews, no followers, no star seller, no bestseller badges, nothing, what would I actually do? I mean, would I make 100 listings? Would I spend weeks learning SEO? Would I buy Etsy courses? Would I start another YouTube channel? Honestly, no. After more than 5 years of selling on Etsy and making thousands of sales, reviewing dozens of subscriber shops, and making just about every mistake that you can possibly make, I'd build my business completely differently. And the crazy part is, I think I would get right back to where I am much, much faster than I did the first time. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do if I was starting a brand new Etsy shop from scratch in 2026. So, by the way, if you're new here, my name's Kelly. I've been selling print on demand on Etsy for over 5 years while working full-time as a physical therapist. Now, I have made plenty of mistakes. I have also found a few things that actually work. So this isn't just theory. This is what I would actually do if I had to start over today. So the first thing, and this is probably the biggest, is stop trying to sell to everyone. When I first started, I wanted everyone to buy from me, which sounds great until you realize that if you're trying to appeal to everyone, you are memorable to no one, right? If I was starting over today, I would pick one niche, not 20, not 10, one. It may be nursery decor. It may be coastal home decor. It might be funny nurse shirts. It might be, pet memorial gifts. Whatever it is, I'd become known for something. Now, one thing I've seen over and over again in my Etsy shop reviews are people opening shops with coffee mugs, then planners, then wall art, then SVGs, then wedding invitations, and then Christmas ornaments. It's like walking into a restaurant that sells sushi, pizza, steak, ice cream, and tires for some reason. Technically, it sells a lot, but would you trust them? Probably not. Second thing I would do would be to launch much faster. And this can be hard for people, especially me, because I'm a perfectionist. I wanted every listing, every picture, every title to be perfect. Now, I'd launch and then improve. You learn more from 10 real customers than you do staring at Canva for 3 weeks trying to decide whether or not an arrow should be moved 1 or 2 pixels up or down. Spoiler, nobody notices. The only person zooming in to inspect your font spacing is you, and maybe your mother. Number 3, I would let the data decide. So one of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to predict the winners. They say, I think this design will sell, or I have a good feeling. And feelings are great. Sometimes. Mine told me that bangs were a good idea in middle school. They were not. Instead, I'd let Etsy decide. I'd make listings, watch the data, double down on the winners, and ignore your ego. Use real numbers. Now, in my shop, about 8% of my listings actually sell consistently. Around 8% sell occasionally, and the rest, pretty quiet. And that's okay, because the winners are the ones that produce most of your income. And that's business, and that's normal. Number 4, I would spend less time learning and worrying about SEO. Now, this can surprise people because SEO matters, but beginners spend way too much time obsessing over titles. Meanwhile, their product photos are confusing, their mock-ups are not attractive, the niche isn't clear, their product isn't competitive. SEO may get people to click, but a listing actually gets people to buy. Now, both matter. If the product doesn't convert, SEO is not going to save it. Next, I would build better listings. This is probably the biggest thing that I would do totally differently. 5 years ago, I uploaded a product photo, added a description, called it good. Now, my listings answer questions before customers can even ask them. What size, what material, what does the back look like, what's the production time? What's your return policy? How's it packaged? Information cards have probably saved me hundreds of customer messages. Now, that is actually one of the reasons I wrote my workbook. After making listings for years, I realized that I had developed a system that I was using over and over and over again. So instead of trying to remember everything I used to make a listing, I organized the process, made checklists and examples so that I could repeat it over and over and over again. Next, I would use AI much earlier. Not to replace me, but to speed me up. AI writes rough drafts. It helps organize information. It helps me brainstorm. AI helps with customer service questions. But I still review everything. Think of AI like an intern. Really fast, really helpful, occasionally very confident, and completely wrong. So do not blindly copy and paste. I would also stop comparing myself. Now, this one took years. Someone always has more sales, better reviews, better designs, better photography, better income, and someone always has fewer. You run your own race at your own pace. The only comparison that matters is whether or not you are getting better and improving with time. Now, my final advice, stop looking for certainty. You need momentum. Make listings, improve listings, study your customers, study your competitors. Keep going. That's how Etsy Shop grows. Not because somebody has a magic keyword, not because somebody has a perfect niche, but because people keep improving. So if you're just starting off on Etsy, or if you've been stuck for a while, I hope this video saves you some of the mistakes that I've made. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.